Here we are, day 19 of a little inspiration from It's a Wonderful Life. I want to revisit that bank run scene where George goes to the bank and he's got the unhappy customers there that want their money, et cetera, right? I talked about this scene a little bit earlier this month, but I want to talk about it from a little bit of a different perspective right now. This scene occurred on the day of George's wedding, right? He doesn't tell the people that. He doesn't say anything to the people anything about that today was the day he got married, right? And it's a little weird because George is well known in the community and all these people know him by his first name. And nobody says, hey, congratulations, George. I know today's the day you got married, right? They're so worried about their issue. They're so worried about the fact that they want their money, right? That there's a run on the bank. Their number one concern right now is their own money, right? And nobody has the presence of mind to even say, other than Uncle Billy, but none of these customers say, hey, George, congratulations on your wedding today, right? This was the day he got married. He was on his way to his honeymoon, right? Ernie, the cab driver, was waiting for him to take him on his honeymoon. So nobody mentions this, right? And George doesn't mention it either. So there's kind of two observations I want to bring up right now. And the first one is this. This shows George's leadership, right? He's got a problem. He's got to deal with it. And he doesn't bring his problems to the table. He doesn't say to these people, hey, I just got married today. I can't be dealing with this, right? No, he's a leader. And he's the executive secretary of that bank, and he has to deal with this problem. He doesn't bring his problems to the table and tell them, I can't deal with this. Today's the day of my wedding. I'm on my way to my honeymoon. We're going to have to deal with this later. No, he doesn't do that. He's a leader, and he doesn't even mention it. He takes this problem by the bootstraps and handles it the way he should. Uses his own money, and he doesn't even tell the people, hey, I'm using my own money to pay you your money, right? I'm using my wedding money to pay this. Doesn't even say it, right? So that's the first observation, that George shows his leadership in that he doesn't bring his problem to the table to tell everybody else about it. But the other issue is this, right? None of these people are the least bit mindful of anything but their problem, their concern. They don't even take a moment to say what's going on in this other guy's life, right? And I think the lesson we need to take from that is always remember the other guy has problems too. The other guy has issues too, right? It's not always about the problem that you have. There's another side to the story, and you have no idea what's going on in that other person's life. And this is hard. This is hard because we're all self-centered to some extent or another, right? And we're always worried about the issues we're dealing with. George had issues that day too. This was the day of his wedding, and he's using his own money to pay for this. He doesn't tell them because he's a leader, but those people, some of them, most of them probably knew he got married today. And where did this money come from all of a sudden? A minute ago, he had no money. Mary announced, said, hey, I got money right here. Well, that's the lady he just married. Maybe that is their wedding money. Nobody even mentions it, thinks about it, says it, because they're so worried about getting their, well, one guy's worried about getting $240. The rest of them are worried about getting $20. One lady's worried about getting $17.50, right? Nobody even once thinks to themselves, hey, maybe George has an issue that we should be worried about here too. It's just something to think about, right? Real leaders don't bring their problems to the table. They deal with the problem in front of them. And we need to do a better job of remembering that the other guy may have some issues he's dealing with too. Just something to think about. Have a great night, everybody. Never quit, and have a wonderful life.